shadows about her creep, far in the forest dim and old. For her may some tall vault unfold, some vault that oft hath flung its black and winged panels fluttering back, triumphant o'er the crested palls of her grand family funerals. Some sepulchre, remote, alone, against whose portals she hath thrown in childhood many an idle stone. Some tomb from out whose sounding door she ne'er shall force an echo more. Thrilling to think, poor child of sin, it was the dead who groaned within.
I suppose it was natural that I should develop an interest in ghosts and all things supernatural from an early age, as I spent my childhood in two archaic haunted houses in a remote part of the English countryside, where I would play for days on my own in the parklands, with only my imagination as a friend. Both my father and elder brother were avid readers of ghost stories, and I inherited the family's library on the genre. My favourites were Arthur Machen and M.R. James, mainly for their emphasis on mysteries as old as time itself, but also for the subtlety of their narrative. In later years, I discovered the works of Edgar Allan Poe, whose eerie tales of decaying Gothic mansions and dark crypts seemed to mirror my own obsession with the ghosts that haunted them. On my 21st birthday, my father, who was himself a keen photographer, gave me an old Leica camera, and I instantly became hooked on photography. What intrigued me most was the magic of time and light and the enigma of reality that these elements conjured up. Over the years, I've tried to portray this theme in my photographs, to inspire the viewer not to take everything around them at face value, to show that what we are conditioned to believe is reality may not be quite all that it seems. If only we take the time to inquire.
Sir Simon Neville Llewellyn Marsden, 4th Baronet of Grimsby, was born on December 1st, 1948. He was the youngest son of Sir John Denton Marsden, 2nd Baronet, and his wife Hope, formerly Llewellyn. The baronetcy was created in 1924 for Simon's grandfather John, who was the owner of a substantial fishing fleet in Grimsby. As a boy, Simon had been thrilled and terrified by the ghost stories his father read aloud to the family. That his boyhood homes, Panton Hall and Thorpe Hall, were both dilapidated mansions in the rolling Lincolnshire Wolds, added considerably to the effect these tales had on his growing imagination. He began taking photographs as a young man, partly to exercise his own fears of the inhabited dark, and he recalled being ever vigilant for the appearance of Thorpe's famous Green Lady, who had committed suicide beneath an oak tree in the park in the 17th century and was said to appear sitting in a tree with 7 branches. Inspired by the Cottingley fairies, the now famous photographic hoax of the 1920s, Simon's first photographs were of cardboard ghosts shot against real landscapes and houses. Later he made it clear that he was not interested in trying to capture spirits on film, as what haunted him was the atmosphere certain places had, the way certain sites seemed redolent of untold narratives. After education at Ampleforth and the Sorbonne, Simon worked in London as an assistant to the Irish fashion photographer Ruan O'Loughlin, who specialised in film stills and record covers. O'Loughlin's wife, Jackie Mackay, was a master printer who had worked in New York with the portrait photographer Kosh, so Marsden soon learned the skills of the darkroom. He then travelled to the United States, where he bought a Greyhound bus ticket and toured the country taking photographs. In New York, his talent was discovered by a gallery owner, and upon his return to London in 1974, he began to concentrate on the haunted sites which became his speciality. Over the years, Simon travelled widely, principally in Britain and Europe, and created his unusual and beautiful style by using infrared film. This technique gave the work their ethereal haunting atmosphere, but it was in the art of printing where he truly excelled, an art that is gradually disappearing in the age of digital photography. While his travels took him far afield, it was to the Lincolnshire Wolds that he returned when he married Caroline Stanton in 1984. They had a daughter Skye and a son Tig, and in a converted presbytery they set up a home for themselves and the Marsden Photographic Archive. Throughout his career he held many successful exhibitions across the world, showing in galleries from Brussels to Tokyo. Today his work can be found in many prestigious galleries and museums that include the Getty Museum in California, the Victoria and Albert Museum in London, the Bibliothèque Nationale in Paris, and the Saatchi Collection. Simon was frequently featured on television and radio, and his Irish Film and Television Award-nominated documentary feature film The Twilight Hour was shown worldwide. During his long career, Simon published 13 books on subjects ranging from US author Edgar Allan Poe to the ruined great houses of Ireland. These books are the work of a true artist. Those afraid of the universe as it really is, those who pretend to non-existent knowledge and envision a cosmos centered on human beings, will prefer the fleeting comforts of superstition. They avoid rather than confront the world. But those with the courage to explore the weave and structure of the cosmos, even where it differs profoundly from their wishes and prejudices, will penetrate its deepest mysteries. Simon Marsden, while on a journey to collect photographs for his yet-to-be-published latest book, had a conversation with his companion relating to this great quote from Carl Sagan from his book Cosmos. Simon believed in the power and mysteries of the universe, but he was also fascinated by those very human traditions that viewed Earth and its inhabitants as the very centre of that universe. For it was those traditions which presented to Marsden and his camera lens the wealth of subject matter for his very singular talent to frame and present to his admirers and admirers of great photography in general a myriad of ruinous abbeys, castles, and churches. Simon believed strongly in the mysteries of the universe, but felt very much at home among the crumbling walls of these monuments to humankind.